Today guys, we're going to be going through the Grand RP suggestions tab in their Discord, going over a few things that you guys want to see changed, fixed, or added in Grand RP. And if you guys have never used the suggestion tab, I'd highly recommend it. Just toss down what you're thinking, and who knows, maybe one of the developers will end up adding it to the city, or you can also comment it below on this video. But anyways, I hope you enjoy, and if you haven't already joined the city before and want to, be sure to click the link down below in the description, click on Start Playing, select which server you want to play on, register an account, and download the launcher. And if you want to play the mobile version of the game, the link is also down below for that. It's literally Grand RP on the go. And if you use code FROLICKZ when you sign up, you'll get a free rare accessory. But anyways, with that said, let's jump into this. The very first one is a new HUD. Now, I know a lot of people have been complaining about the HUD. I've seen a few people comment saying, why aren't you talking about the new HUD? Nobody likes it, yada, yada, yada. To be honest, I kind of like the HUD the way it is. Once they updated it the very first time, I thought it was great. They updated it again and changed the speedometer and a few other things. And then once the inventory changed, and then they also changed the life invader thing and just the whole left eye in general, that's when I started to not like it as much. Like, the main thing is going to be the inventory. When I saw it on the Russian server, I thought it was really cool. And then we got it in this server, and then I went to Beach Market. And that's where it got a little annoying, because every time you would walk up to a shop, your whole camera would do like a whole 360, and it's just getting a little bit annoying, and it feels a little bit glitchy. I remember when it first actually came out, I couldn't actually do anything at Beach Market, and it was just messing my game up. Now, I personally really like the look of the old inventory, and the new one is just a little bit too transparent. Like, depending on where you're standing, even if you're in your own house and you go into your warehouse there, certain items you won't even be able to see because you can see through your entire inventory screen. So I personally either like that to be changed back, or they keep it the same way it is, but it just doesn't do a giant 360, and you can also not see through it. Make it just a little bit more opaque. Now, if I'm not wrong about this, when they updated the HUD the very first time, there was an option to switch back to the older version of the HUD. And I guess they ended up removing that. I'm not too sure why, because when it did come out, a lot of people did not like the look of it whatsoever, and they enjoyed the original HUD. And to be honest, there wasn't really much wrong with the original version. It looked pretty nice. I was perfectly fine with it. They changed it. I liked the new look of it. Some people don't, but at least you had the option to change it back. I guess now they removed it, and maybe that's an option they should consider bringing back as well, just because a lot of people don't really like the look of it. The next thing is make it possible to change the garage interior. This person is unable to edit their garage in their own personal house, and obviously it's a 25-car garage. Now, I actually had this issue before as well. I'm not sure if it's fixed now, but if it's not, they should definitely consider fixing it. But the main thing I saw was actually in the bottom. The comment this person left, I really think it's time to step up the house game. Give the option to make changes in the personal garage, plus some custom furniture for the garden and our garage would be great. I think that is an awesome idea. I have been saying add some furniture we can put outside of our houses for the longest time, because there is a decent amount of stuff you're able to get from the sawmill, I guess, and put inside your house, which I have done many times in the past. You can get air hockey tables, pool tables, pictures, glasses of wine, champagne, all kinds of awesome stuff. But when it comes to actually customizing outside of the house or even the garage, there's not much you could do. Now, in the garages, there's of course that little room in the back. It would be awesome if they implemented a door there, so you could walk in there and there's a little area you could chill, but you could also add stuff like tables, chairs, vending machines, all kinds of stuff like that. And then when you go outside of the house, there would obviously be a barrier where you could place certain items, and you can't place them outside that barrier. But then you're able to set up all kinds of cool stuff in your backyard, host cool parties, put some lights up, all kinds of stuff like that. I think it's a phenomenal idea for something like that to be added, because then every house would just be a little bit more custom. And if you're really creative with it, you can make it look incredible. Next up is a new activity for National Guard. This person went on to say, I was once a member of the National Guard, and to be honest, I didn't really have many activities. I suggest that they benefit from a system similar to that of EMS, the lab tech one, for the creation of ammunition. Now, if you don't already know, when you join EMS, there is like a little job you could do if you're level 3, because you're not able to sell medkits and stuff until you get to level 5, but you pretty much go to the humane labs, you craft some medkits, you toss them in the back of your truck, and you drive them back to the main hospital. Just a small activity, it gets you paid, and like I said, you can do that at level 3, which is kind of insane. Hands down, best job for a beginner in the city, but it's another activity you're able to do, at least. And when it comes to National Guard, it's always just been a really boring job in my opinion. I've even driven by there a couple times and I just see people standing at the front gate. Like that's actually your entire job, is just standing there, and it's got to get super boring. Like most of the time it's probably just a few random people that just drive up and be like, hey, I want to go inside. Or they don't say anything and they just drive straight through. I believe NG is also able to go to certain server events, and I think they can go to store robberies if they're needed. But when it comes to other stuff, there isn't much to do. So adding something like that, where you have to go on a little ammo run yourself to stock up on ammo for the base, and they even said you could do it right inside the base itself, it'd be a pretty decent thing to add, because it's got to get so boring up there. Or maybe they don't even need to add something like that. It could literally be anything. Just another thing for NG to do, instead of just standing at that base waiting for something cool to happen. Like at least LSPD can go out and patrol, FIB could set up raids and all kinds of cool stuff, and then there's NG. They're just kind of vibing. There is a lot of room for improvement at NG. It would be a pretty cool org to join if there was more stuff to do. So hopefully in the future we see something added to NG that makes more people want to join and gives people a purpose when they actually join. Next up is going to be making the marketplace bigger. Now this actually came from somebody in the German server, I believe, and they said, please make the marketplace bigger. There are so many people who want to sell things, but usually don't have a chance because 30 people are trying to get the same shop at the same time, at least on DE01. On the English server, it is the exact same problem. I believe it's the same problem on EN2 and possibly on EN3 as well. Personally, I love going to Beach Market, but I absolutely hate trying to sell stuff at Beach Market because every time I try to go, every single shop is always rented. And sometimes I'll sit there and I'll wait until the hour resets and then I'll try to rent a shop and there's none available. It is the most annoying thing in the world because there's just not enough shops for the amount of people that are in the city trying to sell different items. Now, there is a few different ways that they're able to make this better. Number one is just add more shops. There is a lot of space at Beach Market. That entire closed off area where you're not able to bring any vehicles can be used as an entire Beach Market. They can even add more paths along the beach itself and then add more shops there. And it would just make things so much easier for everybody because you're able to sell all of the items that you want to because you're actually able to get a shop. Another option would be, instead of renting a specific standalone shop like how you do it now, when you go up to rent a shop, a new one would spawn somewhere along a path and that would be your shop. Now, that might not be the best idea, but it could also work. Either way, they definitely need to add some more shops at Beach Market because it is very, very hard when there's almost 2,000 people in the city at one time and you're trying to rent a shop to sell stuff. Because obviously you want to sell it when it's peak time and there's a lot of people in the city, but most of the time you're unable to do that unless you're there very, very early in the day when not as many people are on, and then you consistently rent the same shop for the next 6 hours. And then it'll hit peak server time, then you're going to start hopefully getting some sales. But then all the other people are not able to do that. So it would be great if they decided to implement some more stuff to Beach Market because it gets very, very annoying for all the people that want to sell some stuff. Next is an addition to fishing. Hey, could you please make it so players could use their boats to fish as well around the map instead of just at the designated fishing spots? This is a phenomenal idea because number one, you could actually do something with boats now, and number two, it would be a freaking vibe to just go out on your boat in the middle of a lake or in the ocean and start fishing. And maybe they could even add some more fish as well, and they could actually add a better job where maybe you do some commercial fishing where there's new fishing boats added and you have to go catch tuna or shrimp or just stuff like that in general. Because I honestly get bored fishing no matter what, because you're just standing there for a very long time trying to catch a bunch of fish depending on what you need to do it for, either a battle pass task or you're trying to get all that fish together to sell or exchange it for a different currency to get some prizes from a event that is going on. But if they were to add it where you're able to go out anywhere on the ocean or in any lake and just start fishing on your boat, it would be a really cool concept. I've been saying for a long time they just need to add more boats, but if they add a boat that had a purpose, that'd be pretty insane. Like imagine you could either rent or purchase your own commercial fishing company and then go out there and start fishing. And you'd be able to sell that stuff to people in the city, or maybe you sell it to a specific person like an NPC and you get money for it. Either way, it's a really cool concept and it would be pretty cool to see that added to the city. Next up is going to be updates to improve role-playing in the server. This is desperately needed. If you guys want to pause the video and read through everything this person said, by all means go ahead. The first thing you went on to say though is the possibility to create your own company. That is an awesome idea. Security, drivers, resellers of used cars or houses, That one would be a little bit harder to do probably, but the security and the drivers thing would be pretty dope. They also went on to say add a second private organization like Life Invader, and it could be Weasel News. This will add some competition for both, driving innovation and improving the overall quality of the services, ultimately benefiting the server and improving roleplay. Very good wording there. Don't see that too much in the city. Either way, that would be a great idea. It doesn't even need to be Weasel News. It could just be another private organization, because Life Invader is pretty dope, but there's a lot of other private organizations that could be added to the city, and I'm sure you guys could probably come up with at least 2 thinking just on the spot right now. Another thing they mentioned is add a walkie-talkie. Now, I've actually seen this in a few different 5M servers, and I think it is a great idea. Like, even for LSPD, for example. You would go in, you get on duty, you would grab a walkie-talkie from the ammo storage thing. And now you're able to talk on the radio, which is obviously just the main channel where the entire org chats. But now, the chief of police needs to have a quick talk with the deputies and some of the captains, so they switch to channel 2 or channel 3, and now they're able to talk through the radio specifically just for high command, and it would just be a cool concept. Like I said, I've seen it before, and it was really, really cool, the fact that you're able to change the channel on the radio and talk to different people privately. And you could also use this to talk to different org heads and things like that if you needed to. Another thing mentioned is install fixed radars on the highway that automatically detect cars driving on the wrong side of the road and immediately issue fines to them, even if they can't have any more fines. Like me, for example, who has $2.6 million in fines. I really need to get insurance for my houses. Either way, that would be a great idea as well, just because there's so many people that are driving on the wrong side of the road, and I completely agree with him when he says people have no driving skills in the city. Well, some do, but a lot of others do not have any skills whatsoever. They're just swerving between every single lane, and it gets really annoying, especially if you're on a motorcycle, because then you're just gonna die. There's a lot of other suggestions that were really good as well, but I only grabbed these few for this video. So if you want to check them out, just head on over to the Grand RP Suggestions tab and drop a like on any one that you think is good, because hopefully the developers will see that and then end up adding it to the city in the next update. And be sure to comment any more that you have right there, so then people will know about it and possibly add it to the city too. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one.